everybody. Just real quick, I'll be 15, very brief here. It's an exciting day for UCF. We're happy to welcome Commissioner Brett Yormark and the very talented Big 12 staff today. We know they have a lot going on. They've had several meetings today that they're trying to fit in during our visit, but we really appreciate their effort and their excitement to come to campus today, and we don't take that lightly. So they've been visiting with our staff, our coaches, our student athletes, and they've been on a couple of tours around campus. They got to see the Athletics Village, so it's been pretty exciting. So I'm happy to introduce our new commissioner, soon to be, and starting in 23, Brett Yormark, and he's going to make a statement and have a Q&A. So Brett,
Great.
Glad to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Picture right here.
Let's do it.
So the best jersey in college sports right here. So thanks.
So I'm going to jump into Q&A if you guys want to, but I just first want to say we're thrilled to be here, and we're thrilled that the UCF family will be officially joining the Big 12 in July. I've been spending a lot of time with Terry and Alex and the executives here on campus. My first time officially being here today. The facilities are grand. You can feel the passion and commitment from the student athletes. They're all excited about being part of the Big 12. And we're excited about the direction we're going in. You know, I often say that when Texas and Oklahoma left, Bob Bowlesby did an incredible job in his recovery efforts, in bringing in the 4 new schools. Obviously, UCF is a big part of that. Our footprint, geographic footprint, has gone from 5 states to 8. We go from 40 million people in our geographic footprint to over 75 million. We get to call, you know, this great state of Florida home, a recruiting hotbed. I think all of our coaches are excited to be here, and excited about our future. I mean, I often say it, I don't think there's a better time than right now to be part of this conference for all the right reasons. From a board perspective, we are aligned. We share a common mission and vision on where we want to take this conference. Almost 90 days in, and I see a lot of opportunities to grow our revenue, to grow our brand, to nationalize what we do, to get on the consciousness of future student athletes from all across the country. And excited to be here, excited to be a part of it. And I think our future is extremely bright, very bullish. So with that, I'll open it up to any questions.
Commissioner, I'm Brandon Helwig. I cover UCF for Rivals.com. Welcome
Thank
to
you so
Orlando.
much. Thrilled to be here.
You talked a lot about building the Big 12 into a national conference. You talked about expanding the footprint. What have you learned about UCF, and how important is it for the Big 12 to be in a state like Florida?
I think it's critically important. I mean, moving east was I think a goal of the former commissioner. Thrilled to be, like I said, in this great state. I think the geographic footprint truly supports our vision of being national. Obviously, you've heard me discuss expansion over the last couple of months since I've been here. And, you know, expansion is a dynamic for us where if it's additive, we'll pursue it. And I'm excited about what the opportunities are in front of us. I truly am. But we're thrilled to be here. UCF is a big part of our future. And I think we're gonna have a lot of fun together.
Commissioner Jason Beatty with the Orlando Sentinel, talking about UCF's brand. It's grown tremendously in the years since 2017, of course, undefeated season in football. But what do you know about the UCF brand and what they want to accomplish?
Well, I'm learning a lot more about it, but I will tell you that walking around campus, spending time with Terry and his team today, they're very brand focused. They do incredible marketing efforts here, which I'm excited about, and we can possibly learn from, in fact. And I'm a very brand-centric commissioner. I think that's a very important part of our journey moving forward. And I look forward to partnering with Terry and all the things he's doing on campus and seeing what we can take here to the other member institutions.
Commissioner Mike Bianchi with your Orlando Sentinel, sort of following up on the state of Florida, Orlando. Orlando is one of the fastest growing cities in the country. No NFL team here. How do you plan to use Orlando to sort of grow the Big 12 brand? Are you going to bring events here? What's the future for Orlando?
Well, I would say that generally speaking, we have homes to our championships right now. Last week I was at Media Day in Kansas City. They've done a great job for us. We extended our championship football in Dallas. But beyond the current agreements, everything is a blank canvas. You know, I truly want to take events around this country, whether they be our championship events or tentpole events that we create. And I think bringing an event to Florida would be fantastic for us. When I look at Orlando specifically, this is a global marketplace. And obviously we have to get our footing domestically, but we aspire to get into the international marketplace. And I think being here in Orlando and doing things here could be a catalyst for that.
Commissioner Trey Strolka, Sons of UCF, how does UCF's academic and alumni profile fit into your goals to diversify and grow the Big 12's younger families?
I think it's great. I mean, when I looked at a lot of the data today, I mean, 71,000 students, huge alumni from across the country. And I think that plays a big part of where we want to take this thing. We want to get younger, we want to get more diverse, more multiculturally relevant. And I think we can learn a lot from you at UCF, Terry, his team, based on many of the things you guys are doing. So very additive to our conference.
Matt Rochelle, the Orlando Sentinel. You talked about with the addition of these teams, UCF and Houston, BYU, you're in the middle of discussions for a new media rights deal. How has those additions helped that kind of discussion? And has there been a positive move forward when it comes to this?
It's been a positive part of our discussions for sure. I mean, we've got, you know, obviously the continuing 8, which we feel very strongly about, but the 4 new members coming in July are very additive to who we are and where we're going, and a big part of how we're telling our story. And we've been telling that story to ESPN and Fox over the last couple of months, and I think it's resonating at a very high level. And I know they're bullish on where we're going in our future. And if we're able to do something, and we always have the option of pausing and waiting 16 months, but if we are able to do something, the 4 new schools are a big part of that.
Brett, Jamie Say, WKMG, the CBS affiliate here in Orlando. Nice to see you. Just competition-wise, what you know about UCF's tradition of winning in football and also its other sports teams, how do you see it fitting into the Big 12 and boosting the level of competition?
Well, I heard a lot about volleyball today, toward the venue, and congratulations on the women's soccer team winning the regular conference championship. Very additive. I mean, listen, I think this is a conference that continues to get better. And I think with the addition of UCF and all of your sports programs and the success you've had, we will get better. It'll force us to get better. So we're excited.
Commissioner, I know there's ongoing meetings about expansion of the college football playoff. I know you're kind of the new guy in that room. There's talk maybe by 2024 there's a possibility. What would you say is the biggest challenge, perhaps, to getting a deal done to have it be effective that season?
Well, you know, I've been on calls every couple of days. I think there's a commitment to try to get something done in 11 and 12. I think we're down to a couple of issues, but they're meaningful issues, and there's a lot of nuances that are involved. But I'm optimistic, and hopefully it's something we can move forward, because I think it's right for the game, and I think everyone's committed to seeing it through.
Commissioner, up here in front again. You were holding the space uniform a couple moments ago before we started talking. What do you think about UCF's aggressiveness and growing the brand and trying to be as unique as possible?
I've learned a lot about that today, about the jersey, about the partnerships, and I think it's great. I mean, I think everyone needs to carve out a point of differentiation in everything they do, especially from a brand perspective, and I think the school's doing that, and we welcome that, and we welcome that approach and that aggressive nature, and we think it'll be very additive to what we're thinking about at the Big 12. For us, we started to speak to people we hadn't interfaced with before. We'll do more and more of that in an effort to get younger, to be more relevant, to connect to youth culture. And I think you'll see that through events that we host moving forward. So yes, I think we can differentiate ourselves, but no gimmicks. And we have to, at the same time, make sure that we pay homage to the legacy and history of this great conference.
You guys be the fun league.
Yeah, fun is fine. That's all good.
Brett, in the back here, Adam
Yes.
Shadoff from Fox 35 here in town. I wonder, I know you weren't there for the initial reaction, but what has the continuing reaction been to those original 8 schools to adding UCF as a school?
I think everyone's bullish. We have been very engaged over, at least since I've been here, and I think even since the announcement with the 4 new member institutions. So everyone's excited about it. We're all one big happy family right now. We're engaging weekly and getting ready for the official welcoming, which will take place in July. And at that point in time, obviously we'll look to rebrand the Big 12 a little bit. We'll look a little different, a little bit more modern in our approach. We hired a new creative agency, all in an effort to, when we introduce the new Big 12 in July, that we're ready. So no, everyone's bullish.
Brett, you talked a little bit about scheduling. How important it is to get some of those 8 founding members of the 8 parts of the Big 12, some of those teams here to UCF and some of the other new schools to kind of get maybe a rotation of them here?
Well, I think we haven't finalized the schedule yet, and we'll put that out in December. But I think it's fair to say that they'll be integrated into the continuing game, which I think will be great for fans here in Orlando.
When you look at what the NFL has done in partnering with Amazon, how do you look at streaming as part of the television packages you're creating?
I think streaming is critically important. It's a way to reach younger consumers. But I think right now, my goal is to be on the broadest based platform possible, because we need to grow some of our emerging brands. We need to distribute the Big 12 as broadly as possible. But there's a place for that digital player. And currently with ESPN, we have Big 12 Now on ESPN Plus. And as we continue the conversations with ESPN, I know there's a commitment to glamorizing us and showcasing us in the biggest way possible on their digital platform. And you'll see that in advance of any kind of extension, because we've got 2 more years after this one on our current deal. So digital plays a key component, and it's part of the mix.
Commissioner, your comment you made, when you first took over, we're open for business, that sort of created a stir. Where is expansion? Are you guys still looking at, I don't know, maybe some Pac-12 teams or whoever to add to your...
Everyone wants to bait me into this expansion. That's the 3rd or 4th question. But the open for business comment was really more of an overarching view of where we want to take this conference, that we're open for business. It's a blank canvas. We're going to consider every and all options to grow this thing, whether it's through expansion, whether it's through revenue generation, whether it's building our brand. On the heels of what was happening between the Pac-12 and the Big 10, I think people got caught up with the notion of expansion when I said open for business. But I have since restated and defined what open for business really meant, and it's just taking a different look at everything we do and applying a new lens and figuring out where we go next. And I'm excited about the progress we've made over the last 2.5 months. We've reorganized the conference office. We brought subject matter experts in, specifically on the business side. We've added depth in all the right areas. I've made visits to all the campuses just to understand and better identify some of the issues that are unique to each situation. And we're in the process right now of building out a business strategy that ultimately speaks to open for business. And I think there's a lot of opportunities out there for us.
Obviously, you're newish to the job, but what should UCF fans know about the Big 12 and its goals as a conference overall? Not just in football, but just overall.
What they should know, what UCF fans should know about us as a conference.
Right, and its
Well,
aspirations.
I think our aspirations are much of what I've been defining. Listen, brand's important to us. We want to be national. We want to be culturally relevant. We want to connect to student athletes in all the right ways. I've stated that and much more since I've been here, and I think that's where we aspire to be. For me, it's not about being the #1 conference. It's about being the best version of ourselves. And I think there's lots of different ways we can get there. And I'm excited about our future.
You said you're approaching the 90-day mark. What's been the most surprising thing in your new role? How different from your previous roles?
Well, I'd say one of the key takeaways I've had is the enormous investments that we're making in student athletes. I didn't grow up around big campuses like UCF. And as I've toured each campus and see the infrastructure and the staffing and the resources that are afforded to our student athletes to put them in a position to be the best version of themselves, it's been very impressive to me. Something I didn't have a lens into in my prior jobs, and it's reinforced on every visit I go to. very impressed.
Commissioner Shane Whitehead, WFTV ABC. Is men's soccer on the Big 12 future radar, do you think?
Men's soccer?
Yeah.
I can't answer that. You know, candidly, I haven't really focused on men's soccer. Maybe I need to. I've been focused on the women's soccer right now, but something that I'll, you know, probably respond to more effectively, you know, sooner than later. But I haven't really focused on that.
Anybody have one last question?
You talked about finalizing the Big 12 football schedule, releasing it in December. I know there was something out in the media. Is there a commitment to have, I think it was reported that every school would have the opportunity to play each of the other schools in that 2 year
Yes,
range? And you're focused on
no
that?
divisions. Yes, that is correct.